There's a box in your house right now. It's empty. It has been empty for months, maybe years. It came with something that cost you real money, or something that mattered to you, or something you don't even remember anymore. The product is gone, broken, donated, or sitting 3 feet away from the box that once held it. But the box stayed, and you know exactly which box I'm talking about. Maybe it's the one from a power drill, or a good pair of boots, or a kitchen appliance your wife uses every day, while you quietly take pride in the fact that you kept the original packaging. It's on a shelf in the garage or on the top of a closet slightly compressed on one corner. And if anyone tries to throw it away, something in you tightens. Not anger, not exactly. Something older than anger. Do you actually know why you keep it? Go ahead, take a second. Give me your best answer. It might come in handy. For what? You don't know, but for something. I could use it to store stuff. You haven't? You won't? It's been sitting there since the Obama administration. If I ever need to return it, you're not returning it. You've had it for 4 years and the receipt disintegrated in a junk drawer sometime during a different presidential term. These are not reasons. These are the sounds a man makes when he doesn't fully understand his own interior architecture and has never been asked to look. The box doesn't make logical sense, and the fact that you know it doesn't make logical sense, and you keep it anyway, and you feel faintly defensive when someone points it out, that defensiveness right there is the most interesting data point in this entire conversation, because defensive reactions don't come from nowhere. They come from something being protected. So what are you protecting? Let's dismantle the obvious explanations first. It's not about money. Men who earn very little keep boxes. Men who earn very well keep boxes. The financial argument collapses immediately when you look at the boxes themselves. Most of them contain nothing that will ever be resold, returned, or reused. The resale value logic applies to maybe 12% of the boxes men actually keep. The rest are cardboard monuments to something else entirely. It's not hoarding. Hoarding is chaos. Hoarding is the inability to distinguish between what has value and what doesn't, but you're selective. You throw things away all the time. Junk mail, worn-out shoes, old cables with connectors that don't fit anything made after 2009. You are perfectly capable of discarding objects. You just don't discard good boxes. And that adjective, good, is doing enormous philosophical work in that sentence, and almost no one stops to interrogate it. What makes a box good? Thickness of the cardboard, the way it closes, or that satisfying compression of a lid that fits exactly as engineered. The molded foam insert that held something precise and protected, like a display case for something that mattered. Custom-cut cardboard dividers. A handle, a latch, a box that was clearly designed by someone who gave a damn about the thing inside it. A good box is evidence that someone somewhere in a supply chain cared about quality. And you recognized it, and you couldn't let that go. Now we're getting somewhere. Here is what is actually happening, layer by layer, when a man keeps a good empty box. The first layer is control over entropy. The universe trends toward disorder. Everything decays, breaks, gets lost, gets corrupted, degrades. Every man who has ever tried to maintain something, a car, a house, a family, a career, has felt the relentless pressure of entropy pushing back against his efforts. The good box is a small, defiant object that resists that pressure. It holds its shape. It closes properly. 6 years later, it is still exactly what it was the day it arrived. In a world where almost nothing stays the way it was, the box stays. Keeping it is not irrational. Keeping it is a quiet bet on permanence in a world that offers very little of it. The second layer is respect for craft. Modern consumer culture is built on disposability. Products are engineered with planned obsolescence. Packaging is an afterthought, but occasionally, rarely, but something arrives that was made with actual intention. And a man who has ever worked with his hands, who has ever tried to build or fix or engineer something properly, recognizes craftsmanship on contact. It's not intellectual, it's almost physical, a recognition in the hands and the eyes before the brain catches up. When you keep a good box, you are making a statement about what deserves to survive. You are voting with your garage shelving space for the idea that quality should be preserved rather than discarded. That is not a small thing. That is, quietly, a philosophy. The third layer is the one nobody talks about, and it is the deepest one. The box represents a version of yourself you are not ready to let go of. Think about this carefully. The box came with something that mattered enough to you that you spent money on it. That purchase was a moment of decision. You valued something enough to acquire it. The box is the physical record of that moment. Throwing away the box is, in some small and irrational and completely human way, like throwing away the evidence that you once cared about something, that you once made a deliberate choice, that you once brought something good into your space. Some boxes are connected to a version of you that was younger or more optimistic or just starting something. The box from your first serious set of tools. The box from the camera you bought when you thought you'd get more into photography. The box from the piece of equipment you bought when you had a plan for the garage that you haven't fully executed yet. But you haven't given up on either. You're not keeping the box, you're keeping the intention. And here's what I want you to understand about that. There is an entire industry, self-help, minimalism, productivity culture, the whole cathedral of Marie Kondo and her disciples, that will tell you to let it go. Throw out the box. Throw out the intention. If you haven't acted on it in 90 days, it doesn't spark joy, it doesn't serve your optimized life. Let it go. And those people are not entirely wrong about the clutter, but they are profoundly wrong about what it means. The man who keeps boxes is not failing to move on. He is not paralyzed by the past. He is not incapable of change. He is doing something that is far more psychologically sophisticated than it appears from the outside. He is maintaining optionality. He is refusing to declare defeat on a possibility before that possibility has had a fair chance to materialize. He is holding space for a version of himself that still might show up. Neuroscience has a name for this. The anticipation of future action activates the same dopaminergic reward pathways as the action itself. The box sitting on that shelf is a low-grade continuous signal that something is possible. It is not delusion. It is hope, stored in cardboard, taking up 14 inches of shelving space in the garage. There are worse places to keep hope. You are not disorganized, you are not irrational. You are not a man who can't throw things away. You are a man who has developed entirely on your own, without any therapist or philosopher or self-help author helping you, a private system for valuing what deserves to last and preserving the evidence of your own intentions. That's not a quirk. That is an epistemology. The boxes are your way of arguing silently against a world that wants everything to be temporary, lightweight, disposable, and forgotten. The boxes are your counter-evidence, proof that not everything has to degrade, proof that quality existed and was recognized, proof that a plan is still a plan even when it hasn't been executed yet. Your wife sees a cluttered shelf. You see a record of a life that has not finished becoming what it set out to be. Both of you are right. Only one of you understands what the boxes are actually for. So the next time someone asks you why you keep that empty box, and they will, because they always do, so you don't have to explain any of this, you can just say what you always say. It's a really good box, and leave it at that. Because the truth is, The men who understand you don't need the explanation. And the men who don't understand you wouldn't believe it anyway.